Hello everyone. How have you been? I'm pretty good, and I hope you are all safe in this pandemic. Now today's lecture is related to address generation unit. What is the address generation unit and how it is very much important in digital signal processors? Mainly as we are discussing about the digital signal processor architecture, what is the key importance or the key role of this address generation unit we are going to discuss now. And at the same time, we are going to discuss about the external interfacing, how we are going to interface our digital signal processing with the outside world, and some small features we are just basic features we are going to discuss in this session. And later on, the major units cover the entire external interfacing concepts, in that we will be discussing in depth in detail. Let us have a look at this address generation unit. We, in this topic, we are going to see what is address generation unit and what are the basic operations involved in by this address generation unit and basic block diagram for address generation unit. So, what is an address generation unit? Address generation unit is nothing but it is the functioning of this address generating unit is to provide addresses of the operands in order to compute some DSP operations. For example, I would like to just generalize with this by giving some simple example to it. If you are going with a multiply instruction, if you wanted to execute multiply instruction, if you wanted to multiply, obviously it requires two operands. In order to multiply two operands, the address generation unit has to provide addresses to these two operands within time constraints. Because within the execution, soon after the execution starts, and within the time of the execution itself, the address generation unit should be very fast in providing the addresses to the operands which are required for this multiply instruction which we are going to write in a program. This is what the basic function of address generation unit. Nothing but it will provide addresses of the operands in order to compute some DSP operations like multiply, addition, subtraction. It requires some operands. For that operands addresses are being provided by this address generation unit. Now, as I have told you that within time constraints, within less time, it should be very fast. It has to provide the addresses. And other important point I would like to mention here is the address generation unit generally it itself needs some extra hardware because it has to do so many computations in order to reach that operand address. In order to reach up to operand addresses, it itself do some computation. In order to do that computations, it requires some hardware circuitry. That circuitry is arithmetic unit. Obviously, arithmetic unit will handle all those computations which is being required to provide to reach up to operand addresses. That arithmetic unit is available in this address generation unit. Because of this, the address uh, the addressing computation overhead in main arithmetic logical unit ALU will be removed because the AGC, I'm sorry, AGU, nothing but address generation unit itself is taking the responsibility of computations by using special circuitry called arithmetic unit edit. It takes all the computations which are required in order to reach up to operand addresses. So the major risk, one of the part of ALU is also to identify the address that is being done by address generation unit. So the major of the address computation overhead in ALU is being removed by implementing this address generation unit in the architecture. These are the major important points to be noted regarding address generation unit. Coming to operations involved by the address generation unit, these are the some of the general operations like getting value from the immediate operand, registrar or a memory location. Incrementing, nothing but in order to get the value from the immediate operand or from a register or from any memory location. In such type of operations has been involved by this AGC. Another operation is incrementing or decrementing the current available address or adding or subtracting the offset from the current address. that offset can be added or subtracted from the current address. Adding or subtracting the offset from current address and generating the new address according to circular addressing mode. Actually, we have already discussed regarding this addressing modes, like circular addressing mode and bit reverse addressing mode are special addressing modes available. Circular addressing mode consists of circular buffer in it, where all the signal sample values will be stored in that buffer in a sequential way. And once it reaches the end of the buffer, again it comes to the initial position. In that way, that's why it is circular addressing mode. In it, generally, generating new addresses according to that circular addressing mode is also one of the operation involved. And generating new address by using bit reversed addressing mode. Using bit reversed addressing mode, this is all a special kind of addressing mode. This bit reverse addressing mode is generally used for fast Fourier transform computations. So this is the one of the these are the some of the operations being involved by address generation unit. Let us have a look at the block diagram. This is the basic block diagram, where here it is the offset and this marks is nothing but multiplexer. And coming to this, as I said, circular addressing mode, we have circular buffer, and that length is required. And modular, for a modular addition adder, the circular buffer length will be one of the input, and the next address will be the other input. Coming to this, here there is another block called FFT length. Why there is a requirement of FFT? As I said, bit reversed addressing mode is simply used to do some computations on the fast Fourier transform, right? The fast Fourier transform length is required as one of the input to this bit reversed addressing mode, and the other input will be as usual the next address. Coming to arithmetic logic unit, the offset and the one as an input will be given to mux. Some operation has been done on it, and the output of mux is given as one of the input to arithmetic logical unit, and the other input will be obviously a next address, which is being generated by the next address register. So how it gets generated? What is the input to this next address register? The input is the output of ALU is given as input to this multiplexer. The output of modular adder as reversed address output. All these three outputs of these three are given as inputs to multiplexer, and that multiplexer will give that will provide its output as an input to the next address register, and that register will provide us with the next address, and that next address will be given as input to these three blocks. This is the major implementation of address generation unit. This is the basic architecture of address generation unit. As I said, the other topic which we are going to discuss in this session is features of external interfacing. Why there is a need of external interfacing? Obviously, if we design any digital signal processor and architecture, we implemented some design, and if at all, if there is any requirement of processing and real-time signals, which we will be getting those signals from the outside world. Obviously, the digital signal processor which is being designed has to interact, has to communicate with the outside world. That interaction or the communication with the outside world is very, very important, and for that there is a requirement of peripherals. So that peripherals we are going to discuss. Nothing but the peripherals, it includes some interfaces for interrupts. Obviously, if there is any signal coming out to the digital signal processor, it will be treated in between. If the operation is been interrupted in between, we call it as interrupted in between, and those are all interrupts. Direct memory access and serial input output, parallel input output. These are all the peripherals that include interfaces for this. Actually, that peripherals include interfaces for all these. And if you wanted to just get the signal from the outside world, that signal needs to be processed. You have to you have to get the signal from the outside world, get it converted back, because the outside world real-time signals are analog signals. So the DSP architecture should be capable of uh, handling the serial and parallel converters. Like it requires A to D conversion and D to A conversion. As we are getting the real-time signal from the outside world, these are analog signal that needs to be converted into digital if we are giving that as input to the digital signal process. Once the signal is processed, the process signal will be again converted into analog by using D2A converter. This is being done by serial or parallel process. So that converters has to be handled by this DSP, and the DSP will handle all these things, and the output signal is being given to the outside world. The process signal will be provided to the outside world. These are the general these are the general peripherals include those interfaces for this, and there is an important component which is required is timer in this digital signal process architecture, because in order to make the implementations or the any events at regular intervals, desirable, it is very desirable to implement the events at regular intervals, and the timer could be able to can be able to interrupt processor to get its attention whenever needed. So these are the basic things needs to be kept in mind. Why? These are the general basic things. There is in later on in the coming sessions we are going to discuss in depth regarding external interfacing, DMA, and everything is been done. Is been discussed very clearly. Please do follow up with the sessions. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.